It's still on. All right, cool.
Okay, we're still good. We're live. Seems like it.
What up, peeps?
Trying to get everything together.
We are live. Just had to say hello for a quick second.
Share all this stuff to all these sites. If you guys are on here and listening already, please share it to all your. If you're on Facebook, share to Facebook, Twitter, whichever site you're on. Let's get ready to.
There we go. Whoa.
At least we know I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm ready. If I can start breathing into my microphone.
You tell me.
Let's go.
All right, everybody. Welcome into Thursday night Sports with Balls. Sports with Balls on VYPE. We're here at Christian Tailgate, as always, our home for SWB. And what a lovely Thursday. So much news happened this week. Oh my gosh, we will just be on news before tonight's game.
It's been a wild wind last 3 or 4 days, I guess. In sports in general, baseball, college football, all of it has just been absolutely insane. But none of it takes precedence to your birthday. So happy belated birthday. It was yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. It was funny. I did a family dinner last night, and no one could get my birthday right. No one knew.
It took me I still don't know. I don't think.
No, that's okay. Please don't guess. I'm just saying, they sang "Sweet 16" to me.
Oh, nice.
There were the right candles on the cake.
What?
So there were a bunch of different things that no one knew. I'm like, the waiters don't know. My parents don't know.
You're a public figure. Just get on Google.
No, let's not.
Well, you're always cougared out. It's not that hard to find, but.
Not hard to find a picture of me holding up the cougar paw, but you say your age loud and proud because you compare yourself to Tom Brady. So
I don't compare. Well, I'm better looking than Tom Brady. But what's up, Thomas Quinlan? I see you out there, big Chicago Cubs fan. I don't know if we're gonna get into the Cubs, but we definitely are gonna get into some baseball in a little bit. That is for sure. Before we go there. Some high school stuff, I'm sure.
Of course, because we are just inching closer to that title game. We're talking about high school football playoffs in the state of Texas because it is hot and happening as always. Shall we get to it?
Let's go.
Okay, let's get to our high school spotlight, and that's brought to you by VYPE.com. VYPE puts all of our shows up here at Christian's Tailgate. Thanks so much to Enrique for doing that as well. And let's get to some of those big matchups that are going to be happening this week. So we have on Saturday, December 4th, Allen versus South Lake Carroll. That's a huge one. This is the 6A division, by the way, which is one of the most highly watched divisions, right?
The big one.
The big one.
The big
boys.
Big
one. That's for Region 1. Now for Region 3, this is a big one. We got North Shore versus Atascocita, and our boy Enrique is the Mustang. Are you going to be out there?
I will be out there.
You're going to be out there.
Yeah, I'll be out there. Yeah.
Right. Love it.
Mascotting it up. Are you Lightning or Thunder?
I'm gonna find out tomorrow morning. I'll find out.
All right, stay tuned on our social media sites. See if Enrique is Lightning or Thunder as the mascot as North Shore takes on Atascocita. That's going to be like a college football game.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a blast to be at. That's a fun football game if you're able to go to that one.
Absolutely. So a lot of fun matchups happening around the state. Those are some big ones here happening in our regional area. But just go to VYPE.com. They will have all your high school sports news, including football and other sports.
All right. Today's show brought to you by Smarter Mortgage. That's David Carrier, 281-650-0648. Mention SWB. Get a free quote ASAP. Refinancing and purchasing. He's got a pocket full of cash. He's ready to put you in a home. Call David Carrier for all your home loan needs. Let's get rocking.
Let's go.
Turn this up.
I know Enrique does.
Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get the show rolling here. night, Thursday night.
Let's not take our vaccine cards.
Let's not do that and be Antonio Brown and the two other players that got suspended for 3 games.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the most.
Whoa.
You know, I don't think you were here. I think you were on another. You were doing something. But when this news first broke, Enrique and I joked. I opened the show with it, being like, "This is the most Antonio Brownish thing you could possibly imagine." Like his cook, his home chef, says that he went and got a fake vaccine card. Now he's like, "No, I'm vaccinated." Well, come to find out,
Nope.
doesn't look like he was, and him and some other players got in trouble. Suspended 3 games. Antonio Brown.
It's more money out of your pocket, too, whenever you are suspended and you aren't on the field and pads. So he'll be losing money in that regard as well. Look at, I was listening to the media. It's like either get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated, but don't kind of fake it with the card situation.
Yeah, those are.
I don't know.
I've heard of all that. Got my own, but whatever. Barry, Biddy, what's going on? How are you? Jim, Bobby, Sean, Thomas, Ashley, hello.
Hey, hello. Thanks so much for tuning in out there. As always, Mondays and Thursday night here at Christian's Tailgate off of Bagby Street. And let me tell you, parking is getting pretty hard out there to find. This place is about to be big. You got Thursday night football, which we'll get into a little bit later on in the show. And as we're seeing some news broke that LeBron James will be back on the court Friday versus the Clippers as he gets cleared protocols. But that's not what we're talking about either.
Who cares?
I mean, like, really? Just real quick on the LeBron thing, just to touch on that. He's played a lot of games, and it's weathering on him. LeBron James is getting older. It's obvious, and, his body is wearing down. So, I mean.
Well, he said this might be his last season.
Yeah, I mean. Like the NBA is in good hands. They've got a lot of young talent. There's a lot of high flyers out there. I don't think it would be bad if this was his last season.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Let's get into the rundown on some other topics. Huge topics. You mentioned my birthday yesterday. Well, it was also a big day for Major League Baseball because the CBA happened and the lockdown is taking place. So the collective bargaining agreements, the CBA, expired yesterday, 11:59 p.m. That locked out players early this morning. If you've tried to look up any of their headshots, they're all grayed out. That's something that the MLB is trying to do right now. But, they couldn't come to an agreement. And from what I read, it took 7 minutes yesterday in a meeting between both sides representing the MLB and the Players Association to come to the conclusion that there was no agreement on the labor laws, which that's what this is about. The CBA is about the labor laws and how much they can get paid from the owners.
Yeah, there's a ton of issues in here. A ton. There's about 5 or 6 that are major issues for players and the owners. And they've been good for 26 years, right? So last time we saw this was 1994, obviously with the lockout, which was terrible.
World Series.
Yeah,
worst time.
We missed the World Series. Jeff Bagwell was leading the majors in home runs at like 36 of the All-Star break, something like that. It was crazy. But this is a big deal, and there's a lot of issues on the table. I don't think it's as severe as 1994 was, but there's some issues they want. From what I've read, they tried to give them the DH. So the owner said, okay, we'll give you the DH. There's a lot of things going on with the draft, and they want to draft lottery now. The owners do, the players don't.
Just like basketball.
Yeah, they say like other sports do it. So it's not as tanking heavy. So where if you tank, you not only in baseball do you get the first pick in the draft, but you also get a ton of money to spend in the draft.
How ironic is that we had this conversation a couple weeks ago with a huge agent across all sports, but in Major League Baseball, talking about teams tanking and new guys coming on saying, wait, what is this about?
Yeah, and that's exactly what he knew. This was Scott Boras that you're referring to, and he knew this was coming, and I think all the baseball players knew this was coming. We hope this doesn't extend too long. I mean, you want to get everybody, pitchers and catchers, reporting about 2 months, so you want to have things kind of in a good area by then. The MLB wants to maintain the current financial outlay to the players. They want expanded playoffs, an international draft, and on-field changes, which would be a pitch clock, which is very interesting. It'd be a 30-second pitch clock. That's from when the catcher throws back the baseball to the pitcher. He gets 30 seconds because sometimes it takes a long time.
Kind of like football.
The Major League Players Association wants fewer artificial restraints on free agency. get players paid more earlier. They want more money earlier in their salaries and in their contracts, and address the service time manipulation and competitive integrity. And that competitive integrity is what I'm talking about when it comes to the draft lottery. They would like it's strange that they want this, though, because this is very, very, very interesting. I want to read something to you that came out in the letter. Rob Manfred wrote a letter.
So I was going to say, in regards to all of those, that's what I was curious exactly what they wanted. No surprise that the players do want money earlier in their contracts rather than later so that they can actually hit all of those incentives. And as far as the CBA ending, I mean, this leads to so many things. They have up until March to get a deal done between these two. I don't know if all of those lists between both parties are going to come to a conclusion, but they got to get something going.
Yeah, 100% they do. It's crazy that because remember All-Star break and all the signings, the trades and the signings. The Atlanta Braves won the World Series strictly because of this. Strictly because of the trade deadline and who they acquired at the trade deadline. Otherwise, they would have no chance to win that World Series.
And right now, no free agency deals, no trade deals can go on whatsoever. And so I'm assuming here in Houston, Carlos Correa, that's why he didn't sign, because he knew this was happening. He knew it was about to happen.
Well, this year, what the players are wanting pretty much has already happened this year. It's great. It was a wild season as far as money is concerned. And what we've seen in the last week in the $500 million that have been spent already. What are they complaining about? And this is what Rob Manfred, some of what he wrote in this letter. It says, while we've heard repeatedly that free agency is broken, in the month of November, $1.7 billion was committed to free agents, smashing the prior record by nearly 4 times. By the end of the offseason, clubs will have committed more money than players than any offseason in Major League Baseball history. And by offering these, and so the owners also offered up the universal designated hitter to create a new draft system using lottery similar to other leagues and to increase the competitive balance tax threshold that affects a smaller number of teams. That's what they were trying to offer up to Major League Baseball or the Players Association. The Players Association had turned it down, and here we go into a lockout. But it's crazy that what they want is more money, and that's exactly what happened over the free agency period. And here in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. If I was the Players Association, I'd be like, sign me up.
So
let's go.
Jeff Passan, who covers the MLB very closely for ESPN, he said that they saw this coming 5 years ago, that this ending of the CBA on December 1st this year, that's going to be a work stoppage. It's going to. Like, they predicted it 5 years ago, and so it's just been leading up to it. And to your point, it kind of has happened over the season, what the players are wanting, what the teams are wanting. And so we look at the history of this. This is the 9th work stoppage as a whole and 4th lockout since 1990.
Yep.
Like I said, they could get something going. And to further on the quotes, you quoted Commissioner Rob Manfred, someone from the PA stated it was the owner's choice, plain and simple, specifically calculated to pressure players into relinquishing rights and benefits and abandoning good faith bargaining proposals that will benefit not just players, but the game and industry as a whole. So that's another whole aspect. Is we know baseball, we know baseball's pastime, right? Sure. Now, football is America's sport, right? We're talking about the ones with the hands, not the feet, soccer. We're talking about football. That's now America's game. So this is only hurting the sport even more. And should these owners be giving this much money up to the players?
Well, this is where the public is going to get really, really into this, because you can't look at Max Scherzer's contract and go, oh, they're not making enough money.
Right.
You know, so
that's true. That's
the general
true.
public is going to be
but
like.
But normally the owners, like, that's obviously owning a team is not your only job. You have to have so many other things in order
none of this
to have the money for that.
None of this affects the minor leagues. This is just so the lockout is just for the 40-man roster of the Major League Baseball teams. I hope everybody knows that. It has nothing to do with minor league systems or anything. It's for the 40-man roster of MLB teams. And again, it's with all the money that was spent during the trade or right at the trade deadline, and now this you're seeing spent right here in this offseason, and with something like Mike Trout's contract, you're going to have a hard time convincing the public that the players' union is right. You know, it's going to be interesting to see if the public turns on the players because of all this money. And I understand they're looking out for the integrity of the game in their eyes, and the owners are looking out for it too in their eyes as business. But man, I don't see what was wrong with baseball in the first place. There's a couple of things that I do agree with both sides on, right? The draft lottery, I agree with. Like,
Really?
I don't like the fact that you can tank and just get all the players like you used to, and not only the players, but you get money as well. And so I like the system where a lottery could come in.
I mean, we see it in football with the Jets every year, right?
Well, they tank
and they get the top picks, and then
what you do with the picks is very, very interesting. I got something about the Giants. Remind me to tell you later about the Giants GM and his picks. Oh, wow. It's pretty interesting.
But we're getting back to our first topic here on the rundown, and that is the CBA, the work stoppage right now for MLB and MLBPA, the Player Association, and the owners cannot come to any sort of agreement on the labor laws and everything like that. And we look at some of the history. The longest work stoppages were from 04 to 05. In the NHL, 310 days. Okay. And then you got followed behind that 232 days in the MLB, and that was the 94-95,
Yep.
what you referred to earlier. And then we look at the NBA, who actually had one as well, and that was 98 to 99, 1998 to 1999, and that was 204 days. So I just wonder, how much does this hurt the sport as a whole to fans?
Well, you hope it doesn't. You hope they get something figured out before pitchers and catchers report in 2 months, which they probably won't. I'm not going to lie to you guys. These things usually drag on, right up to the moment of the season. But the further the players drag this on, because of all these things that I was talking about with the contracts we've just seen and with the contracts we saw given out right at the trade deadline, you're going to lose some fans if you don't settle this pretty quickly. And honestly, I've looked at it, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, there's not that many issues that they need to address, like 1994 and the previous years to that. So I see they're going to figure this out pretty soon. I don't know if they'll figure it out before pitchers and catchers, but definitely before the start of the regular season.
Absolutely. And coming on here to some of the comments on Facebook. Hey, Austin, I see out in the crowd over there. We got, of course, Kevin Anthony, go Tigers, go Cowboys. Chewy's out here as well, having a good time with us. Thanks so much for coming back. Thank you all to Kevin. What's new? Kevin and the Cowboys. Are they going to make a comeback tonight? Are they going to stop their losing streak? Or are the Saints going to stop their losing streak? I don't know. Both of these teams don't have any momentum going into tonight's game. So that'll be an interesting topic for later on.
Thomas
go ahead.
Thomas I love my boy T from Chicago. He's a big Cubs fan, big into baseball. He says, yeah, but what about the mid-level players? They have suffered the most with the current CBA. I think there's something like half the total of annual income for those players from 2014, 2021. I feel like the big ticket players are always going to get big money. I
mean, Mike Trout was in that situation for the longest time.
It's a good point you bring up, but if you're good, you're going to get paid if you're good.
That's at any sport.
Yeah, I mean,
and now colleges are with the NIL.
They don't know if you're good until 3, 4, 5 years. Except for, look, they just signed. Who's that rookie? They just signed a $200 million contract for. He's played for 2 months in the pros in the MLB. We just talked about him. Was it with the Mets? I think it was the Mets. But they're going to get bigger contracts earlier, and that's one of the players' gripes. And I mentioned that a little bit ago. But if you're going to do that, I would think that it would be lesser money in the long term. You can get more money up front, but those are things that they're going to argue about, and that's how this is all going to go down. The one thing I do there's two things that I would like to see. Number one, the DH all around. I don't know about that. I would like for it to stay the way it is because I like the competitive balance. But I don't mind the pitcher clock. I don't mind that at all. 30 seconds or 25 seconds. They've been experimenting with it in the minor leagues because sometimes these pitchers take 30, 45 seconds per pitch, and man, that game gets going long.
Well, that's something that you brought up too. Just because the lockdown is happening, or the lockout rather is happening right now with the MLB, minor league operations are still going on as normal. And I kind of like this clock test as well. However, I don't want it to devalue the pitches.
Yeah.
But then people are going to be happy because there's going to be more hits.
Speaking of pitches, I don't know if you saw this story where MLB, just real quick while we're on this, that MLB used 2 different baseballs last year behind the player's back. Insane. I just couldn't believe it. And they admitted it now. They were holding back on it for a while, but they admitted it now. They acquired Rawlings, who makes their baseballs, right? So MLB acquired Rawlings in 2019, which all of a sudden was the home run boom. Most home runs ever were hit in 2019, which was 6,776. Well, they admitted the balls weren't juiced, but they were lightening them. I'm sorry, they were making them more heavy by 2 or 3. 2 or 3 grams. So last year they put them back to where they were at 120. Let's see.
And you couldn't use any substances on
They
them.
tried to deaden the ball this past year by slowing down by making them lighter, 124 to 125 grams. The problem was COVID. Now get this, because the Rawlings factories are based in Costa Rica. So because of COVID protocols, they couldn't have a lot of people there. They didn't make enough baseballs. So they used the balls from the year before, which were 127 grams.
Whoa, where is this from? Wait, what? What?
Yes,
Where is this from?
crazy. Yeah, it was. I read all about it today.
MLB?
Yeah, from MLB, and they did.
Wow.
So they used some of the balls that weighed 127 grams this year in production in the games. And that was the same balls from last year that were all the home runs in 2019. So the balls are supposed to weigh 123 to 124 grams, but they didn't have enough of them. So they threw the balls in from last year, which were 127 grams. So some of these games, these players could be hitting home runs that shouldn't have been home runs.
Okay, so what you're telling me is this is the opposite of deflate gate.
Yeah.
This is the weight gate.
Well, so yeah,
right?
in 2019, that's when they hit all the home runs. The Mlb Acquired Rawlings, right? The Rawlings makes all the baseballs, and they made them heavier, 127 grams to experiment. Well, then they pulled it back out to deaden the ball because you had that explosion, and everybody's like, "Whoa, we don't want another steroid era." So now they've got mixed in balls everywhere. So it's pretty interesting. On Sports with Balls, we're talking about baseballs.
Hey, that's what we do, right?
Let's do it. But anyway, I thought that was very interesting that last year they admitted they had 2 different types of balls in theirs. One that they used at 127 to heavier. That's obviously a home run ball. It's heavier. And then they tried to deaden the balls, making them 123, 124. They didn't have enough, so now they have all of them.
All right, interesting. Well, we'll see if that is going to be something that they got to decide with this whole collective bargaining agreement, which, like I said, they got to make a deal before March, or at the beginning of March, rather, before the season starts, in order for them to take the field again.
Yep.
Okay, we have slaughtered that conversation.
We could go on for hours.
But
baseball.
we still could go on. It's baseball. It's Jeff's favorite sport, right?
But there's more important things.
Okay, we'll go to next in the rundown, which is another one of Jeff's favorites as well. Tiger Woods returns.
Yeah.
To the podium.
Oh, where's the
To the
clap
podium.
in, Enrique?
There we go.
I was saying Tiger Woods returns, but to the podium. To the podium. So he spoke with the media for the first time this week since his crash in February, and he basically talked about getting back to normal life. It's good to walk again, do normal activities, but he doesn't think that he will be a full-time golfer anymore. He mentioned that, I'd like to go on a tour, or I'd like to pick events throughout the year to play in, but I will not be doing it day in and day out, which I'm happy that he's just back to normal.
Yeah.
I mean, to come back from that and be revived from that. But Jeff is the huge fan of Tiger Woods and golf in general.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about his comments?
It was awesome to see him out in the public again. He knows how. He's the best manipulator of words, even better than Aaron Rodgers, that I've ever seen with the media. He knows how to answer questions.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a manipulator.
Oh, he's great manipulating his words. Like he convinced everybody he was vaccinated, but he wasn't. I mean, that's word manipulation.
Okay, yeah,
It's a word. I don't know.
But Tiger Woods, it was incredible to see him in front of the podium. He wouldn't speak about the accident, so obviously shut that down real quick. He looks great, and then they showed him taking practice swings. This is obviously his tournament, the Hero World Challenge. Top 20 golfers in the world go up against each other. It's a blast, and it's great to see Tiger out there. I don't care if he goes back on this Ben Hogan-ish tour where he had a car wreck a long time ago and only played 5-6 events a year. That's fine. I will watch all 5-6 of those events, and especially in the majors, because with all the surgeries that Tiger Woods has, realistically, it's not physically possible for him to play 20 tournaments a year. It just wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too much for him. Not to mention, we don't realize that he's 45 years old. 45. He's almost he's up there with 50. Don't get me wrong.
About to say, you're 44.
Phil Mickelson just won a major at the oldest player ever, and Phil thinks that Tiger's coming after his record. And I do think that Tiger will probably win another major. Will he get to 18, 19 with Jack Nicklaus? I don't think so. I don't know. It just depends, but we'll see. It was just great to see him out in the public again.
Exactly. And what I said about getting back into playing golf and his swing, I mean, you got to imagine retraining your muscles, right?
Yeah,
And going through
exactly.
all of that.
Yeah.
But I just ask, if you, now that he is out, who's coming up next? Who's going to be that next guy in line? Who do you think is going to be the next Tiger Woods?
Well, they got, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau. They try to pair them up against each other and make the rivalry. They just got through with the match, which was, if you watch that match, I only watched it because Charles Barkley and Phil Mickelson were getting drunk and going at it. It was awesome. Like, it was absolutely fantastic. So, that's fun to watch. And maybe they should do that more on golf. I don't know. Let them drink. But like
Michael Jordan did.
Yeah, I mean, it might be more entertaining for a lot of people. But,
all right, Kevin Anthony says thanks for wearing the Cowboys blue tonight.
Second comment I heard about that.
But this
Don't
is
worry.
royal blue.
Don't
Cowboys
worry.
are like that, light blue, gray.
I'd be a little worried about your Cowboys tonight, Kevin.
We'll see about
Well,
it.
I'd say, this is why, and we're going to get into it later, but this is why I'd be a little worried about the Cowboys, because Vegas only has them in a -6.5, all right?
Right.
You got Taysom Hill starting at quarterback. He's only thrown 8 passes this year, and Dallas has a full board.
Are we getting into
wide
that right
receivers.
now? Are we
No,
getting into tonight's game?
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, I mean, the Saints are coming in this game
only
for
6.5?
4 losses. So.
Yeah, only 6.5. That's very interesting, and no Alvin Kamara, so that's interesting.
No Mike McCarthy, but that doesn't matter either. All right, let's get to our next topic in
This
the rundown.
is unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. So Monday night, we talked all about Lincoln Riley. We talked about Billy Napier. Now it is time to get on to the other huge head coaches in college football, and that is LSU's new Brian Kelly. So he leaves Notre Dame after 12 seasons. He has a 145-61 record with all the schools prior to that. We're talking about Michigan, Cincinnati, and Notre Dame. Completely different conferences as well when you're looking at these. I mean, the ACC, the Big East. Now he's going into the SEC. Playing Alabama.
Man.
Playing Georgia. I'm playing Ole Miss, Auburn. I mean, wow. He said when he was talking about LSU, though, he said, quote, "I'm here because I wanted to coach the very best players in the country." Ooh, shade on Notre Dame. That are afforded the best resources in the country and play in the best conference in the country. That's an incredible challenge to a football coach.
Okay, first of all, Notre Dame doesn't play a game this weekend that kills their chances for trying to get into the national championship playoff race. Because they went independent, they didn't join a conference, they don't play this weekend while everybody else does, really, really hurts them. So this made that decision by him a little easier to jump off the wagon right now. And people don't understand that. They think he just abandoned his team. Look, he's going to LSU, the second probably highly regarded head coaching job in the country other than USC. His salary, the details on his salary are mind-blowing.
Absolutely.
Listen to this.
Over $10 million a year, right?
Yeah, okay, this is unbelievable. If he wins a title, firing him would cause an automatic payout of 100% of his remaining salary. All right, so if he wins a national title, he gets paid 100% regardless, can't fire him. Unreal.
Hey, you know what happened when Ed Odron got in there? Boom.
Yeah,
away.
And Les Miles. Both of them, exact same thing. He gets 90% of it remaining balance if he's fired without cause. His base salary is $10 million. Is 10 years, $95 million. Bonus. Check out these bonuses. This is unbelievable. $75,000 for SEC championship game, or $150 for winning it. $500,000 longevity bonus annually. So every year he stays there, another $500,000. $500,000 for $500,000 just for being bowl eligible. That's almost automatic with LSU.
Yeah,
almost. And now bowl eligible, I think there's 50, 60 bowl games now. So
you
gotta win
bowl
4 or 5 games and you're in.
Yep.
There's a bunch of them. $300,000 for national title appearance, $500,000 for winning it all. The craziest things is 50 hours per year of private jet time. Unbelievable. Interest-free home loan, 20% of the home priced up to $1.2 million.
What? Exactly, Enrique.
Two courtesy vehicles and 2 vehicle allowances of up to $1,000 a month. So he gets a jet, he gets homes, he gets cars, and he gets $10 million a year and all these look, bye Notre Dame. See you later. I'm going to Baton Rouge.
Kevin is in hog heaven.
Yeah.
He is saying, "Go Tigers. Come on. You Louisiana."
Oh, man. If he wins, and the whole thing is, the kicker with his whole deal is if he wins a national championship, they cannot fire him. So if he gets lucky his second year and wins a national championship, they can't fire him. If they fire him, they owe him $100 million.
We'll see if he can
Whoa,
step up. And do it.
whoa.
Well,
that is insane. I've never seen, and 50 hours on a private jet. I mean, they just loaded him up. Like, it's
Oh my! So we were talking about Major League Baseball and coming to some agreements. I mean, talk about college football. Dang.
Well, this opens up. College football has turned into just an absolute, just a roller coaster with all these coach moves and everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Being a college football coach now pays off. So, and you bring up Major League Baseball, but guess what this is going to do to NFL coaches' salaries?
Pump it up even higher.
See you later. So, this is all relative with these guys winning, but yeah, I mean, his salary is incredible at $10 million a year. Well, 95 for 10 years. But if he wins a national championship, he's set for the rest of his life, and so are his grandchildren and their grandchildren. I mean, it's unbelievable the way his contract is lined up. He wins a national championship, like the two guys have at LSU before him. He's set.
All right, yeah, it's an easy deal, a no-brainer for Brian Kelly to leave Notre Dame to go to LSU. Let's get on to another coach. We spent a little too much time on that. TCU. So Sonny Dykes is going to be the new Frogs head coach after Gary Patterson left. Oh, what a tenure he had there. It's like a little frogs.
Horn frog?
Yeah, the Horn Frogs.
Yeah, like that.
Gary Patterson's been there since 2001, led him to 17
Air
bowl
quotes.
games, including 3 New Year's 6 bowls. And he also has a statue outside of the stadium at TCU. So he's got a lot of big shoes to fill. And Sonny Dykes, I mean, he kind of knows Texas. He was at Texas Tech. He was at SMU. And now he was at Texas Tech until 2018. Now he's coming here. He knows Texas. And so that's what's going to bring the recruits if he is going to be good.
It's been a wild 2 weeks for college football. I mean,
agree.
just
I
insane.
agree.
And we haven't even gotten into the games coming up this weekend, the national championship. This blows. Who cares who wins the national championship? It's all about these coaches moving around. It's crazy.
Mhm.
It's absolutely insane. That Sonny Dykes, they flew him in on a helicopter in the middle of TCU Stadium and blew off fireworks and had all these cheerleaders around him. It looked like that movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but
Why would they do that for Sonny Dykes, though? That just really
they flew
confuses
him in a
me,
helicopter in the middle of the football stadium.
I can see that at
Like,
USC for Lincoln Riley,
Yeah.
but I don't know. And we discussed all that on Monday
Yeah,
night, of
listen.
course. Okay, so Jeff, what's the most surprising to you when we talk about all of these coaches? We talk about Lincoln Riley, Billy Napier, Sonny Dykes, and of course Brian Kelly, which I think I can answer by all of the money talk that we talked with Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly's probably the most shocking with that contract. I mean,
For me, I say Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley's contract is similar. It's incredible, but that's
Well, I'm just talking as a whole, not necessarily contract money, but what's the most surprising to you for a coach to leave a team, a school, a program that they built, go somewhere else?
It's going to be harder for Brian Kelly to win down in LSU than it is for Lincoln Riley to win at USC. I believe so, unless he's going to win with defense. And the problem is you can't stop anybody anymore in college football. It's very hard. Georgia's got the best defense we've seen in probably a decade, if not longer. They're unbelievable. But other than that, Lincoln Riley's been the best offensive coach college football has ever seen, and he's going to get even more talent now at USC. It's really hard to stop people in college football now. I don't know if it's going to be harder at LSU than it is at USC. So I'd say that the hardest job is down in LSU. But
Well, you're talking about conferences. You talk about Lincoln Riley going from the Big 12 to the Pac-12,
yeah,
and then you talk about going from Notre Dame to the SEC. So completely different.
Lincoln Riley's got to compete with Oregon. That's it.
Uh,
That. So, and then you've got Brian Kelly. He's got every team in the SEC. So it's definitely harder down there. So.
Yeah, and he didn't want Oklahoma to go to the SEC. All right, let's keep it with college football for a minute. And the rankings that dropped on Tuesday night, and it's no shock who is in the top. We talk about Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and Cincinnati. Now, the big game, of course, is the SEC championship, Georgia versus Alabama, and Georgia is minus 6.5 as well as the Cowboys are tonight. But can Georgia and can Kirby Smart win against his former boss and Nick Saban?
Yeah, you're going to have Bryce Young is going to have a Heisman Trophy performance in order for Alabama to win this. He's going to have 5 touchdowns and 400 yards. The problem is he's going against the best defense we've seen in a very, very, very long time.
What you just alluded to.
Yeah,
Right.
Bryce Young is going to have his work cut out for him on this game. I see Georgia winning this game by 2 touchdowns. The 6.5 points is.
Woo!
I think that 6.5 points.
I've seen some predictions, and this is going to be a low-scoring game. You talk about defenses and maybe 21-14 or something like that.
This is where it was. The Notre Dame exit was really interesting to me because I thought that Alabama might be 2 losses going after this weekend, and then you've got Houston and Cincinnati. If Cincinnati falls to Houston, which it's not likely, but they're favored 10.5. I know.
Number 21, baby.
You could
Number 21.
You could possibly have Notre Dame jump up into that 4 spot and be in the playoffs, and their head coach gone. That's just, to me, mind blowing. This past week in sports has just been whatever goes. Nothing surprises me anymore. It's absolutely insane. So I don't know. Houston has got a little bit of a shot against Cincinnati, and Georgia, I think they're gonna handle Alabama. It doesn't matter really. I don't think anybody's gonna beat Georgia. Georgia looks unstoppable.
So you say that in 2018, Kirby Smart lost to Tua Tagovailoa, and then later Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but this is probably Nick Saban's worst team that he's had in the last 10 years.
I can agree to that.
So
I can definitely agree to that.
This isn't a Tua Tagovailoa team, or the Jalen Hurts team, and they're not even close to defensive wise as those teams. And those teams
last year Georgia lost. It was 41-24, I believe.
I just Clemson. I'm sorry, not Clemson. You're talking about last year. Georgia and Alabama. I got Georgia, and I have Georgia running through everybody. I don't see how they get stopped unless some weather tornado hits somewhere. But
Jeff, all about the weather. All right, let's move on to our next topic in the rundown, and that is RG3 making a comeback in the headlines.
Yeah.
So check this out. He is coming out. The former Washington quarterback is writing a tell-all book talking about the franchise. It's supposed to come out in summer of 2022, titled Surviving Washington. So in 2012 against Seattle, that's what he talked about. There was a lot happening. And he said, I'm going to detail the medical mismanagement that I received during my time in Washington. I'm going to open your eyes to the sexual harassment that permeated the walls of that building and give you a deep dive into a power struggle between one of the most powerful coaches in all of sports and an owner that many of you want.
What? This RG3 is dipping his hand into the pool of money and trying to pull some out. Has RG3 been he's never been in a public, in the public eye, been known for speaking, has never done anything that's either been, in fact, everything in the news about him has been actually discredited. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like putting a bad witness on a stand. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like this is. And RG3 is just writing this tell-all book that people are going to be like, what? He's just trying to make a bad situation worse. Mm-hmm. It's I don't see his point in doing this except for getting money. Mm-hmm. And if that's the reason you're doing it, it's completely wrong.
Washington's been exploited a lot.
So you're just jumping on the bandwagon.
So he's just adding to that and putting his name back out there. But you talk about the sexual harassment, the cheerleaders, everything going on wrong, with people being handled in the front office. Just complete everything.
He better hope that.
So he's bringing all of that to a forefront again.
He better hope that he is squeaky clean, because I can't imagine that during all those years that RG3 doesn't have a little bit of history down there or up there. So it's very ballsy of him to do this. And again, it's going to be read. It's there's going to be quotes in there. He's going. It seems like RG3 just wants, because he couldn't make it on the field. He's trying to make it off the field, and this is another one of those grabs at it.
Well, if you're Washington, I'd be putting on your armor right now. So I got to say.
He probably isn't going to be announcing any Washington football team games anymore. Mm-hmm, just saying.
All righty. Well, I've got to head out of here.
Lauren's leaving.
I've got to head out. Sorry, I've got a previous proposal to make right now, but I'm just going to give you my prediction on tonight's game.
Let's go.
Cowboys 7-4, Saints 5-6. Like I said, Cowboys coming off that loss on Thanksgiving. Second Thursday night game. See if they can get it back together. The team is fully back out there. I believe Amari Cooper is going to be there as well, so he'll get some targets. And I think Dak and the defense will come back without Mike McCarthy. Dan Quinn is going to be stepping in to be coaching. So I'm taking them over Taysom Hill in his first start, who Trevor Siemian was 0-4.
But are you taking the -6.5?
That's a good question. So I am.
Cowboys minus 6.5.
Sure. I say they win by a touchdown. Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
Lauren.
do it.
Happy birthday again to you. Hope it was awesome. Enjoy your evening tonight, and we will see you Monday evening.
Sounds great. Thank
right.
you, Jeff.
I'm going to stay here with you guys for a little bit. We're going to go over to we're going to obviously move over to some NFL, man. Stick with this Saints game for a minute. Taysom Hill is quarterbacking tonight. Alvin Kamara is out of the game, and their top offensive lineman is out after experimenting with Trevor Siemian, who has gone 0-4 for the New Orleans Saints. This is the part that bothers me, and I mentioned this a little bit ago, that the Cowboys are only minus 6.5. That's really dangerous. And I love how the Saints managers, I love how their coaches get their defense ready for games. I don't know about this game. I'm going to give it a few minutes because I don't know. And I know Kevin Anthony's sitting over there and my cowboy blue, but that's not why I wore this. Okay, I just look good in it. That's why.
No, I think you kind of did.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You kind of
for Cowboys.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, man, no. There's a couple of games going on this weekend that I wanted to touch base with you. We only got about 15 more minutes. Look, Buccaneers at the Falcons. Tom Brady playing the Falcons again. If you're playing daily fantasy football, I plug Tom Brady in. Now, first of all, the Falcons are terrible. Second of all, Tom Brady and them need to get back on track a little bit. I would bet that Tom has a pretty decent game against the Falcons again. Cardinals and the Bears. Man, Bears. It's only 7.5, so I think the Cardinals maybe get in it. I think Kyler Murray's going to play again. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Chargers and Bengals. This probably is the most interesting game of the week.
That's a really good toss-up in my opinion.
Yeah, right now the line sits at Cincinnati -3. Woo!
Ooh.
I mean,
okay.
I don't know about that. The Chargers, Justin Herbert's he smashed every rookie record last year, right? As a quarterback. The kid's phenomenal. And he did that with the worst offensive line in football.
Yeah.
He's just now getting into his groove. I like Justin Herbert in a statement game maybe against the Bengals. That should be interesting. I would take the Chargers plus the 3 points because I think they're a better team.
I don't know. I think I got Bengals.
Oh, you gonna take Bengals?
Yeah. I'll take Bengals. Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out, man. That.
I don't know. That last game that he played was the Steelers, right? Yeah, it was a pretty big statement right there. So I think I'll stick with that one.
All right, Vikings and Lions, Minnesota -7. You know what's crazy about the Lions?
What?
They're the fourth best team in the league for covering the spread this year.
Oh my.
Yeah, right. So they're doing something right.
Yeah.
So it's Minnesota -7. I think I'm going to take the Lions plus the 7 points. They've been covering a lot. So I stick with stick with Detroit. They're at home. They cover 7 points in that game. Giants and Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa. I'm going to read something out to you. This is absolutely insane that I pulled up the other day about Tua and Kyler Murray. If I can find it real quick. It's mind-blowing stats. Okay, here you go. Through their first 16 starts, Tua Tagovailoa Kyler Murray leads in passing yards by 200. TDs to interception. Tua 21-11. Kyler Murray 20-12. Completion percentage. Tua 67. Kyler Murray 64. Passer rating. Tua 90.5. Passer rating for Kyler Murray 87.4. Their record. Tua 9-7. Kyler Murray 5-10-1. For those of y'all that thought that Tua probably wasn't going to make it, which I was one of those.
Yeah.
He has better stats than Kyler Murray in his first 16 starts.
Yeah.
Which is a full season as of last year. This year's 17.
Yeah.
But a full season, Tua's better.
Yeah. But stat-wise,
with not even near the talent.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's very, very interesting coming out of Miami. And we've seen Miami actually play really good football as of late.
Oh, yeah.
Really good football. So right now they're playing the Giants, and it's Miami -4. I got them running over. I'll take the 4. I'll take Miami minus the 4 points.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think Tua's having a hell of a season, and that kid Waddle,
he's going off. I think he's from Houston, isn't he?
I don't know exactly where Waddle's from. I have to look that up.
Yeah, I think he's from Houston. He went to school at Episcopal. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd be their biggest player ever. That's for sure. But he is having. If you get Tua and Waddle on the same page, they're blowing it up. Right now, Waddle is sitting at 759 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he just came on. I think he missed some time at the beginning of the season with injury. him and Tua get on the same page, that team's looking good, not only for now, but for the future. You get some players behind Tua, who knows what could happen over there. Miami, a decent team right now.
Miami bandwagon?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I had to jump on and off so many this year. I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah,
not here. I'll tell you all that. Oh, man. Let's see. The Colts at the Texans. Who cares?
Yeah.
Washington plays the Raiders. Raiders -2.5. Washington 5-6, Raiders 6-5. I just found out Josh Jacobs is questionable for that game. Sort of been questionable all year long. He's in and out of the lineup, injury prone. When he plays, they win. When he doesn't, they lose. That's pretty much exactly how this game should go. Jaguars at the Rams. Interesting game for me. I know it doesn't look like it on paper.
Okay.
It doesn't at all. But the Rams have lost 3 of their last 4 games and look really confused. Really confused. There's a lot of heat on Matt Stafford right now. And even if he goes out and kills it this game, it's still the Jags, right?
Are you gonna make me take off my headphones right now?
Why? It's the Rams -13. I have the Jags covering this, man.
See, you're pushing it. You're pushing it.
It's in LA. Matt Stafford has never won a football game with a team 5 games above 500 ever. And that's crazy, right? Now, the Jaguars aren't near that. I don't know if they're trying to get this as a get-right game or what's going on in LA, but there's a lot of heat on them because they have lost 3 of the last 4 games. They've been pretty healthy. OBJ they signed OBJ. They signed Von Miller. They got all these big names. It's LA. The star power doesn't win in football, though.
It doesn't, no.
Super teams don't work. It's not like basketball or baseball or anything. Like, it doesn't work. And you got too many big personalities in LA, and Sean McVay needs to figure out what's going on. I think they win this game. I just don't think they cover 13 points. I think they might win by 10. I just don't think they cover the 13. They kind of take it easy, lackadaisical. Maybe a fourth quarter touchdown here or there for the Jags. By the way, on the Jags, real quick, Trevor Lawrence is a bust.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry,
he busted
man.
hard.
I watch him throw the football, and, man, he is off. And, I compare him to the other quarterbacks that are playing with, like, Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, of course, rookie of the year by far. Man, I don't know if the playbook's wrong for Trevor Lawrence or what, but he looks terrible. And for as much as a surefire shot as everybody said that Trevor Lawrence was, he's a surefire, can't miss. Man, he looks bad.
Yeah,
he looks
very bad,
really
very
bad.
bad.
So the Jags might have a situation on their hands with Trevor Lawrence. But again, a lot falls on coaching and your system. Mac Jones was put in an incredible situation.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Belichick and that offense, it took him a few games to figure it out, and, boy, they're off and running. I'm telling you that Tampa Bay, New England Super Bowl, that could be a thing. Ravens at the Steelers. Steelers are beat up. Ben Roethlisberger's taking a lot of heat right now. And you've got Lamar Jackson throwing 4 picks a game but winning. It's crazy.
That doesn't add up, but okay.
Yeah, there's people talking Ravens in the Super Bowl, and I just laugh. I'm like,
that's way too crazy. No,
man. I don't even know where to go with this game. Baltimore -5. I'll take the home team. Pittsburgh wins because the Ravens, they just win 1-score games. Like, somehow they pull it out in the end. It's just very, very strange. 49ers and Seahawks. 49ers are really getting in a groove now. I like them a lot. The Seahawks.
What happened?
Does Pete Carroll – I mentioned this.
Yeah.
I mentioned this on Monday. If they lost that Monday night game, Pete Carroll's on the line. And, man, it couldn't be more true now.
Mm-hmm.
He is in deep trouble in Seattle. If they get beat, the 49ers beat them at home, they will move to 3-9.
Gosh, that doesn't even sound right.
In the past 10 years, they've been one of the most winning franchises in the NFL. So you're seeing a downfall of one of the great franchises behind an incredible quarterback, and it's sad to see. I just think Pete Carroll's defense isn't there anymore, and Russell Wilson, he's got one more shot with another team, and I think he takes it over to the Giants. We'll see how that all plays out, but it's sad to watch Seattle just kind of fall because they don't have much up there. So when their football team goes down, there's not a whole lot. I think their soccer team's good.
Yeah, Sounders is good.
They're good?
Yeah, they're good.
All right. Broncos at the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Kansas City -9.5. Now, Kansas City's been in the get-right mode, right?
Yeah.
They've been pretty good
okay,
lately.
Yeah.
They're pretty healthy, so they're at home, 54 degrees, looks like.
I got Broncos.
I think I'd take the Broncos
Yeah.
plus the 9.5 too. I think the Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater's playing pretty good football now. And they just signed two of the Sutton and Judy to nice little contracts. I think they can cover. I don't know if they'll win the game.
Yeah.
But I like them but I like the Chiefs by a touchdown, but not 9.5. I think I'll take Broncos over that. All right, let's get back to tonight's game a little bit. Brought to you by Fitz Roofing. Fitz Roofing, making a difference, serving people, driven by their philanthropic commitment to the community, focused on building relationships, not just revenue. FITZroofing.com. They're doing my roof. They do everybody's I know. They're flat out amazing. If you need your roof done, do that. And Hybrid Technologies, 832-336-1201. Roy Stanton for your business, all your iCloud services, TVs, cameras, security systems. Roy Stanton over there, he's got you covered, man. Unbelievable. And Construction Concepts. They build all kinds of stuff everywhere, all over Texas. They have expanded. Go visit them at buildithouston.com. All your commercial needs, hospitals, hotels, restaurants, man, they got it all. Tonight's game, Cowboys at Saints, Dallas minus 6.5. Flat out, I don't know.
You don't know.
Man, I don't know how this game is going to go because I love Sean Payton's coaching ability.
Okay.
He does a lot with a little. And this team looks like it's the Saints are 5-6, and they shouldn't be. At all. They've had Trevor Siemian go 0-4 in his starts.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys, I tell you what, like it's Zeke Elliott, right? I say this all the time.
Okay.
If Zeke gets 100 yards, they cover the spread. If Zeke doesn't, they're going to have issues. Now, if they pull in Tony Pollard like they should, in my opinion, Tony Pollard should be starting this game. Zeke needs to be resting. But, Zeke wants to be out there. I'm sure Kevin Anthony's saying something right now, man. It's got to be it's got to be
more than likely he is. Yeah.
Oh golly, Cowboys. It's just who you got? I think you tell I'm confused on this.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's a really tough game to call for this one because you got your starters back. Yeah, that's good. That's good for the Cowboys. But it's just you just got to see if they play right.
Yeah,
I think that's the main thing. And then I don't like the way how you just said his name, Elliott plays. I really don't like how he plays. Yeah, I like the other guy. As you can see, I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I hate the Cowboys.
They do get so CeeDee Lamb's back tonight out of concussion protocol. Amari Cooper's back from the COVID. They've got they're full on tonight. They should win this game by 14, 20 points.
But
it's the Cowboys and it's Sean Payton and it's in New Orleans. So it's like
that's the thing. It's in New Orleans.
Where are you on that? It's like, man, I don't know. Wow, I'm gonna do this, and man, Kevin's gonna love me. I'm gonna take the Cowboys minus the 6.5.
Wow.
Because they should win, and I get it. The Dan Quinn's coaching; they don't have their head coach. But Mike McCarthy's not the head coach, anyways. Dak Prescott is. So, man, golly, maybe that's why they have it at 6.5. But I just don't. Mike McCarthy's. Golly, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a hard game to call, but the over-under's at 45.5. I would stick to the under on that. That I would do for sure because the Saints can't. They have no quarterback or running back. So how do they score?
Yeah, sure.
And Dan Quinn is coaching the Cowboys, who's their defensive coordinator. So I imagine pretty good defensive game. And if Sean Payton wants to win this game, he's going to have to do it on the defense. So I like an under on this, but the 6.5 points is tough for me, man. That is really, really, really tough, man. You're taking who? Cowboys?
You know what? I'm going to go for the underdog, and I'm going to take the Saints.
You take the Saints?
I'll take the Saints. It's going to be a bit of a challenge.
Saints and 6.5. Okay, I like you, bro, but going to make you a Cowboys believer one day. Cowboys have been terrible this year.
That ain't going to happen.
Cowboys are just up and down. And
yeah, it's like you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You don't know what you're going to get.
Well, I want to know what Kevin Anthony or any Cowboys fan says if they lose tonight's game. What's your excuse?
Yes, exactly.
Even if you don't cover the spread, what is your excuse?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a quarterback. They don't have a running back. What did y'all do?
Yeah, you know what?
The Cowboys almost have to win this game. Now, as far as playoff standings, whatever, they've got the division rivals coming up, and they should make the playoffs, so that won't matter. But as far as the fans and
morale.
how you're perceived,
I think it's morale.
yeah, if you lose this game tonight, you're in trouble. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna see a little bit of a downward tick, and don't blame it on Mike McCarthy being gone because he's not your head coach. Dak Prescott is. We see the press conferences afterwards. We know how that goal goes down. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. This is the first Monday night game in a few weeks that I've been I'm excited to watch. I want to see how this plays out. Dak Prescott is something like a 10% better passer when Amari Cooper is on the field, so that helps him out tremendously. And if Ezekiel Elliott's healthy, I think they can win by 10, maybe 14 points. But they make a few mistakes, and Sean Payton is one hell of a coach in New Orleans. He could have this team ready, man. And the only thing that I see that Dallas could have a problem with is Taysom Hill is a running quarterback.
Yeah.
And they haven't faced one of those. I think Jalen Hurts is the only running quarterback that they faced this year. So they could have a little bit of an issue with that. But other than that, the Cowboys are healthy. It looks like, except for Zeke, and they should run away with this game. But if it's close in the third quarter, all you Cowboys fans, yeah, y'all gonna be real nervous, nervous, because y'all lose that game, you're in deep trouble. You'll be at 7-5, and y'all have a lot of turmoil. All right, man. Look, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. Lauren had to dip out of here early. Thank y'all for staying tuned while I was on here. Kevin, Ashley, Thomas, all you guys, everybody that's here, watching the show. Appreciate you. Look. Gotta thank some sponsors real quick. Christian's Tailgate, obviously, where we're at right now. Want to thank Construction Concepts. They build stuff, man. BuildItHouston.com. Want to thank Fitz Roofing, FITZRoofing.com. Hybrid Technologies, Roy Stanton. They're the ones you call for your surveillance cameras, stuff like that. And last but not least, Smarter Mortgage and David Carrier. Got a pocket full of money, wants to put you in a home. All right, I'm going to say it. Cowboys minus 6.5.
That hurts you, doesn't it?
It's just painful.
Yeah.
Painful.
Let them tears fall.
Golly. It's just I'm going to reverse it. Saints plus 6.5.
Okay, there you go.
Saints plus 6.5, man. They're at home. Sean Payton, I think they – can I just take the under? Man, dude, this is a tough game. But y'all have fun watching the game. Look, we'll be back Monday at 6 p.m. with some incredible news about the show coming up. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Jeff Michael. That was Lauren Leo. This is SWB.